Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Fairmont High School. My name is Bryce Newton. I am the District Music Coordinator for the Kettering City Schools and Committee Chair for the Fairmont Performing Arts Hall of Fame. It's great to have so many people here in the audience this evening for this very special event. It's wonderful to have a full house, and it's going to be wonderful for us to be able to highlight Fairmont performers, both past and present, this evening. The Performing Arts Hall of Fame represents a wide historical spectrum of performing arts alumni and former faculty, representing the 115-year history of Van Buren Township and the Kettering City Schools. From the original Fairmont to Fairmont East, Fairmont West, and then back to Kettering Fairmont, the performing arts have always been a mainstay of the education provided by the Kettering City Schools, where students are guided to become global citizens, engaged collaborators, thoughtful communicators, critical thinkers, lifelong learners, all of that through the art of music, theater, and performance. Later this evening, you'll hear about each of our inductees who came through this incredibly special music program for which Kettering is very well known. Before we begin our performances this evening, please join me in welcoming our Superintendent of the Kettering City Schools, Ms. Mindy McCarty-Stewart.
Good evening, everyone. It is with immense pride and joy that we gather here today at Fairmont High School to celebrate the induction of these amazing and outstanding musicians into the Performing Arts Hall of Fame. To our inductees, your dedication, passion, and talent have not only enriched our lives, but have also left an enduring mark on our school's music program and the entire Kettering community, and we applaud your achievements. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to Bryce Newton and the amazing performing arts teachers, both past and present, who have inspired and guided countless students on their musical journeys, providing opportunities for all students to explore, to create, and to elevate their music talents and gifts. Your dedication and expertise have shaped generations of musicians, and we are deeply grateful for your contributions. We are very proud of these accomplished inductees and our student performers that you have the privilege to hear tonight. Kettering has a long-standing tradition of supporting and promoting the performing arts. Congratulations on your induction to the Fairmont Performing Arts Hall of Fame, and enjoy this beautiful evening.
All right, the time has come, everyone, to induct three talented individuals from the city of Kettering and from the Kettering City Schools. So we're going to go ahead, we'll bring the projector screen down here, make a short transition, but we will start to take a moment to recognize and induct these individuals into the Performing Arts Hall of Fame. To begin, please welcome Fairmont High School 2008 graduate, Mr. Kyle Kremer, on up to the stage. Kyle Kremer is a 2008 graduate of Kettering Fairmont High School, where he built the foundation of his musical and academic journey through the school's performing arts program. At Fairmont, he served as the principal trumpet in this very group, the wind ensemble, lead trumpet in the jazz program, and a section leader of the Marching Firebirds. He was principal trumpet of the Dayton Philharmonic Youth Orchestra for 3 years and twice performed in the Ohio State All-State Concert Band. In 2007, Kyle won the Dayton Philharmonic Concerto Competition, performing as a soloist with the orchestra the following year. For these exceptional contributions to the band program, he received Fairmont's prestigious John Phillips Sousa Award as a senior in 2008, the highest award given annually to a senior band member. Kyle continued his musical training at Northwestern University, where he studied trumpet with the renowned Barbara Butler and Charles Geyer, while also pursuing a rigorous curriculum in astrophysics. He graduated in 2012 with a double major in music performance and physics. One of his most cherished memories during this time brought him back to the stage here in Kettering, where he joined his younger brothers, Jeffrey, Andy, and Luke, who all are Fairmont alums, in a performance of Bugler's Holiday with the Fairmont Wind Symphony. And I think if we go to the next slide, we've got that picture of that event right there. Kyle went on to earn a Master of Music degree from the Colburn Conservatory of Music in Los Angeles in 2015, performing with ensembles such as the American Youth Symphony, the Civic Orchestra of Chicago, the New World Symphony, and, whenever possible, returning here to Ohio to play with the Dayton Philharmonic Orchestra. Kyle's academic path ultimately led him to a career in astrophysics. He earned his PhD in astronomy from Northwestern University in 2019, then received NASA's prestigious Einstein Fellowship Award for postdoctoral research at the California Institute of Technology. Today, he's a professor of theoretical astrophysics at the University of California in San Diego. Recognized as a leading expert in numerical simulations of dense star clusters and black holes, Kyle has published over 100 articles on a wide range of topics in astrophysics and regularly conducts research with world-class facilities such as the Keck Observatory in Hawaii and the Hubble Space Telescope. Even as his professional focus turned to science, Kyle has remained closely connected to the performing arts. He founded an outreach program called Cosmos in Concert, blending live music with astronomy, education to inspire audiences and make science more accessible to all. The program has been presented in 6 states, including performances at Northwestern, Colburn, and with the Boulder Philharmonic Orchestra. Kyle remains deeply grateful for the foundation provided by Fairmont's Performing Arts program, and especially his longtime teachers and mentors, 2 of our retired band directors here, Michael Burning and Dan Nakora. The creativity, discipline, and collaboration fostered at Fairmont continue to shape his career in both music and science. And while he still enjoys keeping his trumpet chops in shape, these days you're more likely to find Kyle in the concert hall audience, proudly supporting his wife Elise, who plays French horn as a member of the Los Angeles Philharmonic. Kyle Kremer, on behalf of the Kettering City Schools, recognizing your outstanding contributions to the performing arts throughout your life and career, I am proud to induct you into the Kettering Fairmont Performing Arts Hall of Fame as a member of the class of 2025. Congratulations and welcome home.
All right, well, thank you very much. It's always really a great pleasure to come back to Fairmont. So, like I guess pretty much all Kettering students, I started in band when I was in 6th grade, so I did the exploratory instrument program where we get to cycle between all the instruments and decide which one is sort of the best fit. So actually I came out of this exploratory program with the violin as my top choice. I was kind of okay at trumpet, but not really that good. And then some of my friends at the time, they came up to me and they said, "Oh no, we're all playing trumpet, you gotta play trumpet too." So I didn't know any better, so I said, okay, that sounds fine. So I went with trumpet. So actually, one of my friends is in the audience. This is Shane Sullivan. He's one of these trumpet enablers. So a lot of you know Mr. Sullivan is a math teacher here at Fairmont. So all of the students in the audience, make sure you ask Mr. Sullivan about his brief but distinguished career in the KMS band program as a trumpet player. So incidentally, that was actually not the last time that I almost did not play trumpet. So after 6th grade, my band director at the time, Mr. Burning, he took me aside and he said, "You know, Kyle, every year we usually take the best trumpet players and we have them switch to the French horn because French horn is way more challenging than trumpet and we really need the best of the best playing French horn in our bands." So I didn't know any better. I said, "Okay, sure, I'll switch to French horn." So I got one of these old French horns from, I don't know, some storage closet over at Fairmont. I took it home for the summer to start practicing. And it took me maybe, 2 or 3 weeks to realize, oh, I really don't like the French horn. Switched back to trumpet, and ever since then I've had a kind of a complicated, even a contentious relationship with the French horn instrument. And I would have to say it's gotten even more contentious when I married a French horn player. So Mr. Burning, while I was at Fairmont, used to always give me a hard time. He used to always say, I walked around, Fairmont like I was some big hot shot, in the music world of Kettering. I got to play the fancy solos with the marching band, the Dayton Philharmonic. It was kind of, the trumpet player, big ego stereotype. I was living up to it. So I got the call this past year from, the folks at Fairmont saying, congrats, you've been inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. So it was just like the old days. I was, this is awesome. This is really cool. I was feeling kind of proud of myself, and I, went up to my wife and I said, hey, I got inducted into the Hall of Fame in Kettering. It'd be awesome if we could take the whole family out to Kettering for the ceremony. So that same week, I think it was actually the day after this, my wife, the French horn player, won her second Grammy Award for her work with the LA Phil. So as if that wasn't enough to really tamp down my trumpet player ego. So anyway, she, added salt to the wound. She said, let me check my calendar. Let's see if I have anything going on. When's the ceremony? So she checks her calendar. And she, I'd have to take off work because we're playing with Billie Eilish at the Hollywood Bowl that day. So anyway, Mr. Burning would be very pleased to know my music trumpet ego has been effectively squashed. At this point, essentially, all I have left is try to make sure our son Henry plays trumpet and not French horn, but it's a losing battle. So it's tough for me to, overstate how big of a role Kettering Performing Arts played in my career, even as I've now gone into a career as a scientist. For me, trumpet was really the first time I was, faced with something that was really challenging and something that was a challenge that I really wanted to embrace and tackle head on. Throughout my time in middle school and high school, trumpet really taught me how to practice, how to work hard, and really try to get better at something. And, throughout my entire time in Kettering, I constantly was giving opportunities to test myself musically and to really test this hard work and excel. One really distinct memory I have, this is from my sophomore year. So this was when I was playing in the wind ensemble for the first time. And this was actually before this new sort of performing arts corridor was built. So it was kind of under construction. So the bands were all temporarily relocated to, I don't even know where it is, some old basketball gym over on the other side of campus. And I just remember it was hot and stuffy. I don't think it even had air conditioning, especially in the fall when school started. It was really tough. So, I had just started in the wind ensemble, and I was obsessed. It's like my life purpose was to prove myself to the upperclassmen of the wind ensemble. There were two people in particular, Matt Craig, who was a trumpet player, and Chris Ott, trombone player. So he was inducted into the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. I just wanted to try to keep up with these guys. And I vividly remember every day, first period, 8 in the morning, sitting in this really hot, no AC gym, just blasting my brains out on trumpet, trying to keep up. And every day I went to second period. I don't remember who my teacher was. They probably were very confused at what was wrong with me. I would be dripping sweat. I'd have a big red ring on my lips from, mashing the trumpet mouthpiece trying to squeak out high notes. So anyway, kind of a funny story, but I think this is just it's a great illustration of really two things. So one, obviously the Kettering music program has come a long way in their facilities. Nobody's playing in the old basketball gyms anymore. But it's just an illustration of the amazing musical pipeline that Kettering schools have developed. Over the years, over the decades, this pipeline has been developed, and all the way from the elementary schools to the high schools, throughout my entire time in Kettering, I constantly had examples, especially in older students, to look up to and to aspire to and to try to, meet the expectations and push myself to rise to this level. And this really just taught me again, the value of working hard at something. And when I ended up going on at Fairmont and, working with Mr. Mitter and taking calculus and Mr. McManus taking physics classes, it felt to me like trumpet. It was, again, a new challenge to try to embrace and work hard to sort of succeed at. Certainly throughout the rest of my career, the same sort of sentiment has held. So the very last quick thing I want to just say is just to sort of very personally thank my long-term teachers here, Mr. Burning and Mr. Nakora. For me, throughout, again, I started working with them in 6th grade, and throughout all of middle school and high school, they just gave me so many amazing opportunities musically to, again, test myself and to learn and things like this. So it's really awesome for me to have an opportunity to sort of stand in front of everybody and thank them personally. And I know all of us in the audience have a similar feeling with either Mr. Burning or Mr. Nakora, if we knew them, or current directors here in music, and there are so many here in Kettering. So again, it's an honor to be here tonight. Thank you so much for the nomination. Thank you for the audience to being here, and let's push on with the rest of the program.
Thank you, Kyle, and congratulations. Let's now please welcome to the stage our next inductee, 1971 Fairmont West graduate, Mr. Michael Licata. Michael Licata graduated from Fairmont West in 1971. He made his Fairmont debut in the operetta Camelot as King Arthur's illegitimate son Mordred, and appeared in UTBU, black comedy White Liars, and as Nicky Arnstein in Funny Girl, a role he reprised a couple of times as a professional actor. He went on to study at the Conservatory of Music at the University of Cincinnati and moved to New York to continue what he started here at Fairmont West. Except for a stint as a maitre d' at a theater cabaret, he's made his living as an actor or director. His acting career took him worldwide, including German-language productions of West Side Story and Evita, as well as several national tours and appearances on Broadway in Evita and Sweet Charity. He also realized a lifelong dream of appearing in The Fantastics at the Sullivan Street Playhouse in Greenwich Village. In the late 1990s, he made the move into directing. His last stage appearance was as Julian Marsh in 42nd Street in 2004, that is until a few weeks ago. He was happily on his way to the Jersey Shore to join his family when he got a call from a theater in New Jersey where he had just directed Man of La Mancha. The leading man was on his way to the ER, and in less than 2 hours, the first of 2 sold-out performances was scheduled to take place. Did he have any ideas? He did. But the theater had ideas as well, and 2 hours later, he was on the stage, script in hand, in a show he had directed, playing a part he'd never played before. After 21 years, you don't forget how to ride a bike, although you might fall off once or twice. Michael lives in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, with his wife, Lauralee, a former dancer, and their 14-year-old great-granddaughter, aspiring actress, Layla Brown. Michael Licata, on behalf of the Kettering City Schools and in recognition of your outstanding contributions to the performing arts throughout your life and career, I am proud to induct you into the Kettering Fairmont Performing Arts Hall of Fame as a member of the class of 2025. Congratulations to you and welcome home.
Wow, I think I'd be remiss by not saying before I start my own or read my own script, because now I need a script, how impressed I was with the absolutely beautiful musical presentation by all of you and all of you out there. I can't say enough about it. I'm very proud to be a long part of this a long time ago, but congratulations. You know, standing on this stage, I feel very much at home, because 54 years ago, this was my safe place. And it was made safe by a really wonderful, beautiful group of people who I feel that I would not be here tonight without. So before I go any farther, I just would like to ask, you don't have to stand up, but maybe just raise your hand or something. How many future, present, or past music theater educators are in the audience? I'm sure there must be some out there. Don't be shy. But these people are responsible for my being here, and they rightly share in the honor. I want to just indulge two short stories. about my career here in Kettering. The first one was when I was a freshman, and I was at D.L. Barnes High School, junior high, down the way. And I was kind of our family had just moved from Rochester, New York. I was kind of a lost soul. I had 4 younger sisters that all were on the honor roll every grading period. I wasn't. I felt a disappointment to my father, who was a brilliant electrical engineer. My mother did feel that I walked on water, like most mothers do. But I was kind of lost. I didn't quite feel like how I fit in. When I was a freshman, I was cast in a play called Scrambled Eggs, which was presented as an assembly at the school, and by the director, who I think was Mrs. Krieger. If I got the name wrong, I'm really sorry. She gave me the leading part, even though I didn't get the greatest grades in her class, but I got the leading part. But anyway, the final moment of the show, my character was to take, well, let me say one thing. I have a very serious allergy to eggs. Serious allergy to eggs, okay. So the final moment of the play, I was directed to take about 4 or 5 eggs and smash them in my hands and do this, and then put them through my hair. Well, the audience absolutely loved it. And all of a sudden, I became somebody at junior high. What I didn't realize was that how my body was going to react to that. And 45 minutes later, there was another assembly. And as the old adage goes, the show must go on, and it did, hives and all. So that was my first experience with performing arts in Kettering. The second story I'd like to share took place in the music room that same year at D.L. Barnes. And my music teacher, I was taking a music class, my music teacher was Gene Seeberger, who's a very famous and well-known name around here. And once again, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just like this nobody kid. And Gene had me up in the music room, and we were sitting at his old grand piano, looking out at the parking lot. I don't know if any of you know Gene, but Gene had a 1949 black Ford that impressed me greatly. And I was looking at his Ford, and he was playing something for me to sing, and he said, you know, you have something there. You have a voice. You have a talent. You need to pursue this. And all of a sudden, that started my life as a performer. And I will forever be grateful to Gene Seeberger for that moment. I think of it now, and I will always think of it. There was also Joe Kuhldahl. Joe was the director of the junior play. There was Don Dietrich. I know you all know who he is. Clark Haynes. Clark Haynes taught me music theory. Over at Fairmont East, there was Leah Funk, who, although I didn't work with her, she was legendary, especially among all the theater kids over there. These people were so really incredibly important to my life and my career. My niece, for example, graduated from here in 2013, and she's now a professional actress in New York, Carolyn Grogan, and she tells me how important the educators and her directors were to her. I guess Darren McCarvey, Mr. Taylor, Mr. McDonald. These people are so incredibly important to any of you and us. And I think they really, truly deserve to share in this wonderful honor. So, from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to thank them, and I'd like to thank you for this lovely evening. Thank you.
And for our final inductee of the evening, please welcome to the stage Miss Kim Richey. Kim Richey graduated from Fairmont East High School in 1975. She attended Western Kentucky University before transferring to Ohio University, where she graduated with a degree in environmental education. After graduation, she traveled to Sweden, Boston, Colorado, Columbia, back to Colorado, and then to Bellingham, Washington. In 1988, she moved to Nashville, Tennessee after working in restaurants and nature centers just to give music a try. She was then signed to Mercury Records when she was 37 and began her 30-plus, so far, year career as a recording artist. In the world of independent touring singer-songwriters that we honor, Kim may well be the poster child. Willing to follow where the music leads, she's landed in places like New York, Nashville, London, working with a who's who of producers and attracting a mix of top-shelf performers such as Jason Isbell, Trisha Yearwood, Truck Prophet, Carl Bramer of the band Morning Jacket, Pat Sansone of the band Wilco. Kim has sung on records for Ryan Adams, Sean Colvin, Isbell and Rodney Crowell, amongst many others. Part of what draws them to Kim is also the way she writes music. To and from the soul, never flinching from conflicts and crushing moments, yet always finding dignity and resilience. Her arc of the human heart is true. True enough that over her years as a songwriter, Kim has written #1 hits, such as Radney Foster's Nobody Wins, Trisha Yearwood's Believe Me Baby, the latter for which she was Grammy nominated, as well as songs for Mary Chapin Carpenter, Gretchen Peters, Patti Loveless, Jamie Lawson, Brooks and Dunn, Jim Lauderdale, Kathy Mattea, and more. Over the past 2 decades, Kim has released 10 critically acclaimed albums, been listed in the top 10 albums of 1999 in Time magazine for her album Glimmer, and received 4 stars in Rolling Stone magazine, and was named Alternative Country Album of the Year in People magazine for her album Rise. Her 2013 release, Thorn in My Heart, was named in Year's End Best lists by No Depression, the Boston Globe, and the Associated Press. She has written 2 #1 singles and had 4 others in the top 10. As a singer, Kim has contributed backing vocals on albums by Trisha Yearwood, Ryan Adams, Sean Colvin, Rodney Crowell, Jason Isbell, just to name a few. In other words, Kim is the real deal. A single genre has never defined her career. Her delivery can have a hint of folk, country, blues, roots, gospel. Yet when you hear the first few notes of a Kim Richey song, you know you're in for a great ride. Warm, expressive, melodic songs. Her music does not disappoint, and it started all right here in Kettering. Kim Richey, on behalf of the Kettering City Schools, and in recognition of your outstanding contributions to the performing arts throughout your life and throughout your career, I'm proud to induct you into the Kettering Fairmont Performing Arts Hall of Fame as a member of the class of 2025. Congratulations, and welcome home.
Hey there, y'all. Hi. I want to thank the teachers that I had when I was going to Kettering schools. Mr. Blott was my grade school music teacher, and I also went out in the lobby. I saw that Madonna Goss had been honored in the Hall of Fame, and I had her for 4 years in choir, and it was they just instilled just a love of music that I've always had, and also they really expected a lot from us, which you guys can probably relate to. Your instructors, and when you're treated like that, you do better, right? And that love of music and my music career I've been able to travel all kinds of places in the world that I never would have gone, And I'm just very thankful, and I'm thankful for this audience. I'm thankful for this honor, and just to be here tonight and to listen to y'all. Y'all are fantastic. Everybody that played tonight was awesome. So give them a big round of applause. Thank you so much, y'all.
How about another round of applause for all three of our newest inductees into the Fairmont Performing Arts Hall of Fame. Before we wrap up the event tonight, I want to thank everyone involved in supporting this event. I want to thank the members of the Hall of Fame Committee, Superintendent Mindy McCarty-Stewart, our Board of Education, Community Relations Director Carrie Basson for all of her support, Fairmont administrators Karen Denslow, Jeff Renshaw, Jeff Blakely, Amy Epperson, Nicole Will. Special thanks to our auditorium manager John Gentry, Will Trapp, and I really want to thank the entire K-12 music faculty of the Kettering City Schools for instilling a love in music of Kettering students, undoubtedly some of which we'll see here on this stage for this very honor. Lastly, let's give one more round of applause. In addition to our three inductees, how about a round of applause for every student that performed here tonight as a part of this event? I was trying to come up with a creative and special way to close out this event. And in doing some thinking about that, we had Michael from Fairmont West, we had Kim from Fairmont East, and Kyle Kremer from what is now Fairmont High School. So the Wind Symphony has prepared. This will be the first time some of this music has been played undoubtedly in many, many years. So for each one of our inductees tonight, we're going to play the fight song that represents their school. So we will start with the Fairmont West fight song, Fairmont East fight song, and then we will conclude tonight's festivities with the current Fairmont High School fight song. I want to thank you all for being here tonight and supporting your students in our music program. I know this is a busy time for some of them, and this is another evening out of your calendar, so thank you so much for your support. Let's kick things off with the Fairmont West fight song.